Today is National Wear Red Day to raise awareness about heart disease. Every year, more than 700,000 people will have a heart attack. KTVA 11's Heather Hinsey is live at Fire Station 1 downtown to show us how CPR can save lives. Heather.
Emily, I'm here with firefighter and paramedic Bart Grabman. Talk about kind of your experience, what you've seen with CPR, what it can do before firefighters and paramedics arrive on the scene.
Absolutely. When their CPR is in progress before we get there, we see it can make a huge difference in the impacts and long-term survival of a patient who doesn't have a heart rate. If we get there and CPR is in place and someone's doing it adequately and doing it correctly before we get there, it can make a big difference in the survival and ultimate outcome for a patient.
And you guys are now advocating for a new kind of CPR. It's called hands only.
That's correct. In the old days, teaching was that we do compressions and breaths for a patient, and we mix those in between. But new evidence and new data tell us that the best way to save a life is just to do compressions only.
And we're going to show kind of how this is done. We've got a mannequin here. You can take me through the steps down here.
Yeah, so what we want to do is once they're not responding normally, if we see that they're not breathing normally, we get them on flat on their backs and we do compressions. We put our hands, kind of lock our hands like this in between. We'll go right between the nipples on their chest, and we want to push fast and push hard on the chest. We say about 100 to 120 times per minute.
And you said don't be afraid if you break a few bones in there.
Absolutely. The bigger concern is if they don't have a heart rate, if they don't have a pulse, any damage we're going to do is going to be much, much worse than if we don't have a pulse. This can save a life.
That's a lot of work. And you advocate kind of switching out if you can, if there's people there.
Absolutely. And if you call 911, they'll walk you through the entire process, all the procedures to do adequate compressions. But we recommend switching out if you have the ability to about every 2 minutes.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Coming up at 6, we'll actually meet a man who did CPR for 12 minutes on his wife, and we'll meet the dispatcher who talked them all through it. Emily, back to you.
All right, thanks, Heather.